Welcome to History in Photos, where the past comes to life. If you're ready to explore rare photos of the Wild West and see what life was like back then, let's begin. Three Native American men from the Apache tribe pose in traditional attire, armed with spears, bows, and a rifle. This image captures a rare moment of indigenous warriors during the late 19th century when many tribes were resisting encroachment on their lands. Cowboys are branding cattle on a dusty ranch, securing ownership marks to protect their herd from rustlers. Several miners sit inside a narrow underground tunnel, their oil lamps casting dim light on the rough rock walls. During the late 19th century gold rush, miners often spent 10-12 hours a day underground in narrow, poorly ventilated tunnels like this, facing constant dangers of cave-ins and toxic gas. Gambling was one of the few avenues where frontier women could claim agency. One such figure was Eleanor Dumont, aka Madame Mustache, a famed professional blackjack dealer who traveled the mining camps from Nevada City to Bodie, California. The woman is posing as a brothel worker from the late 1890s to early 1900s in the American Wild West. Such photographs were often used as promotional material for establishments catering to lonely men like miners and cowboys. Miners are being lifted to the surface through a narrow, dark shaft. In the 19th century, barrel-shaped mining cages were commonly used for transport, but were extremely dangerous due to risks of tipping over or rope failure. A group of Native American men and women gather in an open area for a ceremonial meeting. In the 1890s, some tribes used such ceremonies to strengthen social bonds and perform spiritual rituals before hunting, war, or times of peace. Cowboys are gathered in front of a saloon. The two men circled in red on the left side of the photo are recorded as individuals involved in a gunfight in the town in the late 19th century. Soldiers and civilians have set up camp in an area surrounded by trees. Such camps in the 19th century were often used by the U.S. Army during Western expeditions as both rest stops and logistical hubs. This steam locomotive, standing in a narrow rocky pass, illustrates the challenging geographical obstacles faced during railroad construction in the late 1800s. The main street of an American town is decorated for the 4th of July Independence Day celebrations. A group of Native American children pose in front of traditional huts made from hay and branches in the background. A group of soldiers pose with their rifles in front of large tents. Likely taken in the late 19th or early 20th century, the soldiers' formation offers a visual record of the camp layout used by military units of the era. A cowboy in typical late 19th century attire stands with arms crossed, wearing chaps, a wide-brimmed hat, and a revolver at his side. Such cowboys worked in cattle ranching across the American West, often herding cattle over long distances. This photograph, taken in the late 19th or early 20th century, depicts a classic Old West saloon scene. Inside, liquor bottles and hunting trophies are displayed behind the bar counter. In the foreground, two patrons pose, while the bartender stands in the back. Such saloons served not only as drinking establishments, but also as important social gathering places in the American West of that era. This photograph captures an ordinary moment of daily life in the old American West. Scenes like this were especially common in mining towns or remote ranches. This photograph shows Native American warriors on horseback crossing a river. The image, taken in the late 19th century, reflects a period when daily life and warrior preparations were closely intertwined. This photograph, taken in the late 19th or early 20th century, depicts a scene from a Native American tribe in the Great Plains region. The photograph shows a Native American woman wearing a traditional dress made from shells, beads, and natural fibers. Her hair is braided, she wears an embroidered headdress, and around her neck are multiple layered necklaces. Such attire was typically worn during ceremonial events or on special occasions. This photograph, taken in the late 19th century, offers a valuable glimpse into the daily life of Native American tribes in the Great Plains. The horses in the center are equipped with a traditional travois system in which two long poles trail along the ground to carry belongings or people. This photograph shows a man praying at the grave of Lieutenant J.J. Crittenden of the U.S. Army's 20th Infantry Regiment. The cross-shaped wooden grave marker reflects how war casualties of the era were often buried under simple and immediate conditions. This photograph, taken in the early 1900s, shows a woman wearing a combination undergarment and stockings, posing as she puts on her shoe. Such images reflect how, after the Victorian era, women's fashion and daily life began to embrace a freer expression. This photograph captures a scene of Native American tribe members gathered together. In front of a tent, 5 people, one of them a white explorer or official, pose either seated or standing. Such images are among the important visual records documenting the cultural interactions and contacts between indigenous peoples and Euro-American settlers or authorities of the era. This photograph, dating to the late 19th or early 20th century, depicts an era when horse-drawn transportation was common. 2 men sit in a carriage pulled by 2 horses, while people in formal attire are visible nearby. It was most likely taken during an official ceremony or an important event in the city. This photograph depicts a reenactment of a Wild West scene. Cowboys with their guns drawn force a man to dance in the middle of a saloon. Such scenes reflect the lawlessness and rough sense of entertainment of the era. The typical clothing styles and ongoing construction work of the era capture a moment reflecting the everyday life of the town. A small group of Blackfeet, Piegan riders, crosses a shallow creek below steep limestone slopes, circa 1900-1910, likely in the glacier region of Montana. The lead rider's long staff is a coup stick. On the plains, warriors used it to record acts of bravery, with each feather marking a counted coup, and it was often carried in ceremony rather than in battle. This photograph shows a train station from the American Old West era. Located in a mountainous region, the station is bustling with activity following the arrival of a steam train. The scene captures the spirit of the years when westward migration, trade, and mining activities were at their peak. In this photograph, a group of men is gathered in front of a place called Gold Reef, which served as a restaurant, saloon, and general store. The scene is most likely either a moment from daily life in a mining town or a posed group photo. Such establishments functioned both as social gathering spots and as centers of trade. This photograph, taken in the late 19th century on the American western frontier, shows a historic scene of 4 Native American warriors or tribe members standing in a cemetery or memorial site. Wearing traditional clothing and holding rifles, they pose solemnly, likely commemorating the losses of their people or visiting the graves of those who died in battle. In this black and white photograph depicting the old American West, a group of men is seen posing in front of a stone cabin. Most wear wide-brimmed hats and are dressed in typical work attire of the era. The image offers a glimpse into the harsh living conditions of the time, the daily life of the working class, and the rural architecture of the West. This late 19th century photograph shows a typical American Old West town. Wooden storefronts, including one with a dressmaking sign, offer clues about the commercial life of the era. People gathered on the balcony and at the entrance of a 2-story hotel or boarding house reflect the social side of daily life. The image presents an authentic snapshot of a time when the West was still taking shape, with new settlements and community life revolved around small, close-knit towns. The image appears to show a city center celebration from the early 20th century. The street is lined with wooden storefronts on both sides, while flags and streamers hang overhead. On either side, women in long dresses and wide-brimmed hats and men in suits with bowler hats watch the proceedings. The crowd in the center is likely participating in a parade or holiday celebration. The muddy road reflects the underdeveloped state of urban infrastructure at the time, while the overall atmosphere captures how vibrant and community-oriented social life was in that era.